Do do. Alright, now we should be showing up as live and going through a lot of settings. Time to check. Recording in progress. That is awesome. That's what I'm talking about. How's everyone doing today? Boom. Firing up the simulator. Oh yeah. So I was trying to get closed captioning hooked up, and well, needless to say, it just was not working. And that's sounding a little loud. I think I need to dial that back a little bit. Oh, my Discord's working.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, sweetie. Where is my volume on this player right here? Come on. Mean to tell me there's... I know there's a volume button somewhere. There it is. I just had to bring it open all the way. I think. There she is. There we go. We got her now. Alright, Farm Sim, you can open at any time, buddy. Alrighty. Oof.
Hello, everybody.
I'm getting old.
There goes.
Oh. Oh yeah. We hopping back on the fun. Look at... Oh, that was immediate. Awesome. Usually we gotta like dance around for 20 minutes trying to get the thing to load. Oh, water. Oh, dear water. Hope everyone is relaxing. Hope most of y'all got out that heat already. I don't know where most of you might live, but I know where I am. It's hot. And humid. And it's sticky. Oh, there we go. So, in case y'all haven't noticed a change in the background music, Ginger is dumb. And, he forgot to turn off his, trial for epidemic sound and, you know, the stuff I was using for the soundboard and everything. Well, it turns out that I now have a license because I forgot to turn it off. So we can have music and soundboard rights for the next year because I forgot to turn off the trial. So we has music now. Hey, Buns. Buns.
Yes.
Do you know where my lighter is at? Or where a lighter is at?
I know where two lighters are.
May I has one, putty please?
Yeah, give me a few minutes.
Yay!
I don't get stuck under the damn house. Sorry.
It's all good, Buns. Yeah. We getting old. Okay. So it is March 2nd on the growing calendar. Let's see what, if anything, we could do today. I'm in the wrong menu. Ooh, it's gonna be one of them days. Ginger, I don't know what he's doing from his left or his right. Well, it is not soybean season yet. It needs to be, but it's not. But we got our sugar beets and our sugar cane down last episode. And that's always a good thing. Let's see, we got our sugar beets growing right here. And over here we got... Oh. Thank you, Sweet Pea. Aw. Yay. Alright. Alright, so we got our sugar cane growing, we got our wheat growing, we got our sugar beets growing. A lot of sugar stuff growing around here lately. Not sure how I feel about that. But, on the good news, our cornfield is almost ready. And our little soybean field over there is going to be ready. Well, it needs lime, so we can do that today too. Although I might just talk to Bun Buns about getting a day skipped. And just letting that be that. You know what I mean? We're just not going to tell Bun Buns about that. We're just not going to tell Bun Buns about that right now. Okay. So, first and foremost, we need to get everything stocked up and going. That's just gotta be it. So, we're going to go to our production point. We're going to make sure everything is rocking and rolling. And good thing we came in. Why have you stopped? I don't think we really need you running right now. I'm pretty sure there is plenty. Yeah, there is plenty. Yeah, we don't need you rolling right now. Oh, wrong button. Oh.
What's going on?
Nothing.
What you doing? Are you done?
Refilling our stuff real quick.
Oh. Ooh, needs all those? Okay. Nobu and soil fertilizer needs that. Water and liquid fertilizer.
There we go.
Oops, wrong button.
That thing's over there just chugging away. Okay. So, we got all of that going now. Alright. So, what we really needed to do is we really needed to be the next day, Buns.
Okay.
Because genuinely, what we really need to do is get stocked up. So I say we go ahead, skip a day. That way we can work the truck and work the field and just, you know, be getting stuff done. What you think?
Sure. It'll be in April, so we can't, like, do anything. Except for the, greenhouses.
Corn, soybean.
Oh yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm. Alright, there we go. Ah!
I was still in March on one.
How is it still March? Was it not 8 o'clock yet or something? What?
I don't know. What?
Ha! Small fish in a big pond. Came from.
I see the Odin.
You see the Odin. Okay, April, and it's supposed to rain today. Alright. So, here's what I'm gonna do, Bun Buns. I'm going to get someone working on that field back there.
Okay. What field?
I was going to start with the cornfield, then the soybean field.
Are we doing this one corn? Or soybeans?
Which one you want to be corn and which one you want to be soybean?
This one could be corn. And the other one could be soybean.
So you want the long one to be corn?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's do this. Like a small fish in a big pond. Oh, that's where you came. I want to try something. We're going to try something. I can put a simple life. Alright, let's see here. Let's see. We're going to test this out real quick. We're going to go to this. Make sure my volume's off real quick. Come on, jump screen for me. Nope, nothing. Okay. Well, it was worth checking. Oh well. Worst case scenario, I can save a transcript and actually put up a caption system, I guess. I'm sure there's a step I'm missing somewhere as to why it's not working, like having a transcript to a file or something silly. I'll figure it out. Alright, yep, soybean. Alright. So this one's already equipped for the... Oh, we need the weight. We need the weights. Trying to remember where I put the weight. It's over here. Yoink. Or stonk. There we go. We got our weight now. Now, the only downside is I'm going to have him go sideways. Once you get up there, I'm not sure he's going to be able to maintain the velocity needed. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have to refill that with seed, but we'll figure that part out later.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I know Bun Bun's going to need help with the loading the truck. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this guy going sideways like this, and we're going to have that automated. Not my favorite thing to do, but hey. It's going to be what's going to be, right? We got other work that we got to get done. Mostly trying to get back out of debt, as we are in very much debt. Lots of debt. Bunnies, where you at? Where's the Bun at? Buns?
Over here by the water.
Did you pull the truck out yet, or?
Yeah.
Oh, the truck's already over there?
Uh-huh.
Look at Buns. Just getting it done. Oh, yeah.
You want to come do the things? I'm doing tomatoes right now.
Okay. Alright. Load in the truck. We load in the truck. You know, these tomatoes are giving me inspiration, honey.
What do you mean?
Well, it reminds me of our followers. We love them from our head tomatoes. Ah. Yeah, I made a pun. Anyway, so as we were talking about earlier, Ginger made a dum-dum and forgot to turn off the trial for the epidemic sound for music and the soundboard. Well, I forgot about it, so now I paid it. So now I have a paid license for one monetized channel, also known as our nice little Rumble channel here. Permitted access. And okay, there it goes. I was like, what is going on? Why is it not following? So now we get music and soundboard for the next year. So yep, there you go. Yoink. Oh yeah, loading the truck. Look at them beautiful tomatoes. Look at. Beautiful.
Why aren't you stacking them, one bun?
Because I was trying something.
Oh.
Yoink. We always have trouble with it bugging out, right? Well, what if I loaded it a little differently this time? I mean, if we're always trying the same thing and expecting a different result, well, that's just silly. So I was wondering, what if I backed them first and then stacked them? That way, you know, the layout is there for it, and I guess for lack of better words, it'll help auto snap, I'm hoping. That's what we're testing today.
Last one.
We got the tomatoes. I mean, really, to be truthful, the only thing we're missing, guys, is the potato field. That's all we're missing now. But that takes specialized equipment. We've got to get out of debt first, so. I need to check the server. I need to make sure this thing is running when we're not on it. I think it is, but I gotta check the server settings.
Okay.
You know what it also might be, though, Buns?
What?
It might also be that it's producing half as much because we extended the number of days per month. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, maybe the reason we felt like it was an absurd amount of coffee that it was producing was because, oh, we were running 1 day equals 1 month game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Tomatoes are up. These are probably melons.
There are the watermelons.
Melons. It's so melancholy.
And these are melons.
All the melons. It's a melon. Loading up the truck. You know, like, during the first season of our farm sim, I was like, you know, we should really get a flatbedder. You know, haul this stuff more efficiently. But I ended up getting the box trailer anyway, just because it fits better aesthetically. You know, it's like big old... Like, this is what you would expect, you know, store goods and stuff to come in. You're not expecting like a big old flat, you know, super wide trailer bringing in produce and stuff like that. So, well, that's why we got this one back. It's cute, it's cuddly, we love it. It does get a little wonky. It's not the game's fault though. There's plenty of mods installed, you know. We wanted a variety to be able to bring to everybody, and you know, sometimes that causes mod playfulness, for lack of better words. There we go. Nope. Beep. Ah. You know, I was pretty sure I did not have that turned on. We're gonna have to check that. Oh, there's so many boxes. Bun Bun's just bringing box up to box. Look at her. Look at her go.
Yay, some eggs.
Finally started getting some eggs there, buddy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like one stack.
Oh. You know, once
I'm
the
gonna let it. I'm gonna let it go. Like make it full
pallet.
pallet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a lot of chickens. You know that, right?
Why have to get more chickens to do that?
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't
they
know
don't
that.
just magically. They don't magically produce just an insane number of eggs, honey.
I thought they do.
Nope.
Okay, I'll get more chickens. What I'm gonna do? Wait
We,
till later.
well, I was about to say, why don't you wait until we get our silos and everything up to store their food first?
That's what I said I was gonna do
Oh.
later.
Okay, I misunderstood you, honey. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. What else is getting loaded up? Oh, all of that.
Yep, all that.
Maybe we'll finally put some a dent in this debt.
How much are we in debt?
A lot. You're going through the financial tab, aren't you?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Why?
You don't want to know how much we're in debt.
Just for that. Damn.
Thought I was kidding, huh?
No, not really.
Well, the good news is we probably got 2 trucks worth of stuff to bring into town today, so hopefully
Yes.
we'll be able to knock that out. Now the downside is the farm will be broke after that. So no more, like we're not going to
Are
be.
you paying all at once or bits by bits?
I'm hoping we can just go ahead and knock it out. But we need to
There
find
we
out
go.
how much our storage silos are going to be for your chicken food. Because I'd like to get the one designed for your chicken food.
Oh, you want that one?
Yeah. Because that way, you know, we just put it over there, store it up. They always have their food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take good care of your chickens. Then we can focus on you getting other things you wanted, like this.
The Delta ones you talking about?
I have to look at it to know which name it is, sweetheart.
It's yellow.
Yes.
It's Delta. There's 2 different kinds. There's one small.
Okay, how much does the
One
small
big.
one hold?
10. 10 them.
10 million?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we don't need.
Other one is 20 million.
Yeah, we should only need the small one.
And it's like 20.
1,000?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh. Thought it was gonna be way more.
Nope. The other one's 30.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Oh yeah, we are definitely making multiple trips into town today.
Yes. Because we still have the flowers to do and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Those things better sell good.
The flowers will sell good.
I hope. They cost so much to operate. So realistically, we're actually looking at a few trips into town then.
Yeah. Because
Nice.
you also have the coffee too.
That thing is still running. It ain't stopped.
Oh.
That's the scary part. That thing is still going. Like, I'll be honest, I almost considered getting a trailer just for that.
Okay.
It's just like every time the trailer fills up, bring it into town. For that Java Lava. Java Lava. Yeah. That 18-wheeler filling up. Ooh, my back popped. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Ah.
Do I need to open the back?
Probably. Let's just say it's probably going to be helpful.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Any more lettuce, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for letting us let us know.
There's a bunch of lettuce.
All right, come on, you. There you go. Oh yeah. We are here in the farm service. We're doing farm stuff. Oh yeah.
For a moment today, I thought it was like Wednesday, Thursday or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you?
Yeah, but today's Friday.
It is Friday. You know, hon, we do need to start working out a schedule for our streaming stuff. You know that, right?
Yes.
So we have to decide what games get played when. You know, because you don't want, you don't want everyone who chooses to hang out with us going, well, I really would like to hang out, but I don't know what they're playing, type of thing, and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
Well, like, think of it. Like, what if they just, like, what if a particular follower just really likes to chill and hang out while we're playing Farm Sim, but maybe not a huge fan of Valheim?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need to start, like, working up a schedule or something so that, we can post up and be like, well, boom, schedule. And kind of like what we did with both Preem and Bearded Megatron, be like, hey, man, like, next week, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be double featuring Valheim because our buddy's off, and just let him know that, like, as, like, event type issue, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what we need to get ready to start figuring out.
How are you gonna do that?
Well, I can find a schedule layout PDF, fill it out, and we could probably merge it onto our front caps. We could probably put it in our description page. I don't know if you know that your channel does, in fact, have a description page. You can fill it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can upload, like, PDFs or images to it, but I'm sure there's something we can do. We just gotta go in there, look, and figure it out. Ooh, what are we doing for lunch, Buns? Or at this point, dinner? I am hungry.
I was gonna make for chicken.
Okay. I'm just really hungry today, that's all. Alright, it looks like this is going to be it for round one. I still got some room in the truck. What else we got?
Lettuce. And strawberries and the flowers.
Let's see. They're taking up on average 2+ rows. It might be a squeeze for, because I know you mean the red lettuce, right?
Yeah.
It might be a squeeze, but I might be able to get it in. Oh.
You dropped one.
I was protecting us from the iceberg. Yoink. Okay. We're gonna try to fit in the red lettuce, but I make no promises.
Okay.
Ludicrous. There we go. Yeah. Look at this being awesome. Ugh, tea, yum. Okay, we're gonna have to start stacking them sideways if I remember right. Yeah, if I remember right. No, I think it just had to be. Trying to remember how we had to do this. We had to do it a certain way to get it to fit in the back because of the curtain. Yeah, I think it had to be like this because of the curtain. There we go. Yoink. Oh yeah. Red lettuce. Something ain't right there. Hold on. Come on, you. Alright, is that it for the lettuce?
No. I didn't know if you could put getting more in there.
Just start bringing it, honey.
Okay.
That is a problem, but okay. Yep. Gonna be a multi-trip day today. There we go. I has an idea.
That's all the lettuce.
Alright. Come on. Get in the truck. There we go. Okay. I don't think we're gonna fit all of it, but we're gonna come close. Wee. Alright, we're gonna get this in there. Eh. Nope, that did not work. There we go. Come on, line in there. Line up. Get in there. Come on. Yeah, there we go. I don't think we're gonna get... Oh, we're not getting all of that in there. We're gonna get a bit of it in there, just not all of it, though. Making me auto jump, and I don't like that. Okay. Oh, maybe we can fit it all. It's gonna be a super tight squeeze, but... Hi, Benz.
Hi.
Oh, crap. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. There we go. I'm cooking a little bit. Think I got it. No, I don't. Thought I had it. I was wrong. Okay. Alright, the answer's officially maybe. I might be... Oh, Clear Sight. I was told I should harass you. Well, Clear Sight, you are welcome to come and harass us. Welcome to the show. I was told... So I gotta know, who told you that you should come harass us? Because it's always fun. What you got? Who sent you? I will get this truck loaded. We will fit all the lettuce.
I don't think it's gonna fit anybody.
It will fit.
Oh, you're fitting right there. Okay. Never mind.
Bam. Oh, Nilsson sent you? Oh, that's awesome. Well, how are you, Clear Sight? Let's see. I don't know with what and why exactly. Oh, because we're always making jokes and talking about random nonsense. Well, welcome to the channel. We just like I was saying, we just kind of chill, hang out, talk. You are welcome to like Nilsson said, you are welcome to harass us. See what we're doing. Always feel welcome to make fun of, make some jokes at me because I will mess something up. I'm pretty sure I'm about to roll this trailer like a Swift driver. So, let's see. So I guess before I ask any questions, please understand, do not ever volunteer information on the internet that you are not comfortable with. But Yeah, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, do you go fishing? What you do? Was that all the lettuce there, Buns?
Yeah.
But I don't know with what and why exactly. To answer that question a little bit more clearly, the what and why exactly is because we like to joke and we will joke back with you, is essentially what's going on. Oh, probably help if I would start the motor.
Mm-hmm.
Ginger's a little dull. Alright, let's see here.
Don't forget the back.
There we go. Alright, and off to town we go. So, do you also stream Clearsight, or you just you just hang out and chat? Like, what you do? The Clearsight Swamp Ginger learned some German, I was told. Ah, you were told. Oh, it's my. He was told. He's the one that helped. Hold on, I'm gonna do this properly. One second. My phone's off, so I don't have the translator to look at, but I'm still gonna give this a shot. Come on. I'm trying to not roll the truck. 1 second. We're actually fully loaded this time. No partial loads going to town. Fishing, I guess. That is how you connected
Hey,
more
honey
with.
bun, where you
Damn.
going?
I was reading. Don't text and drive, people. Yes. So on Wednesdays, most Wednesdays, we have a game. Both me and my Buns plays Trolleymother. And we it's Call of the Wild, the Angler, and we talk about various fishing things. Like, I'm from the U.S., more specifically the southern U.S., and y'all have variable different fish species that we don't have. And of course, people who fish together stick together. That's just, we kind of glue ourselves to we kind of glue up. It's how it works. All right, here we go. But right now we are playing Farm Sim. Welcome to the Farm Sim. But let's see. Do you also speak German Clearsight? Because we know Preem does. Preem was helping me learn a few words yesterday. Still awaiting the horrible German. Yeah, swamp puppies and danger noodles. You know it. I am at the wrong store.
Yes, you are.
Let me see if I can't whip this truck in here real quick.
Rip it right there.
All right. Let me pull it up.
Back up a little bit.
I will. 1 second. Okay. Bad German. Willkommen. Wie geht es dir heute? Not on stream. I practice my English with streaming. Oh, really? That's cool. So let's see. Wie geht es dir heute? I keep rolling my tongue at the end of that. I know it's not heute. It's like heute. You think I'd have remembered that by now, but apparently not. Remember the the swamp where it actually does bench. Not sure if he asked me what does the swamp drink or don't say it yet. I'm gonna figure it out. Look, give me a moment. Let's see. I know the swamp. Yeah, translate that, bro. Let's see. I don't know. Burr. D-U-R-E. and A-N-D... Bring? Brigade? Is that brigade? B-R-I.
Okay, and bunch.
Okay, we might need to reverse that translation. Ah! Warmer the swamp echo. Warmer the swamp burr. See, well, Pramlis talks Swiss German, probably a bit harder to translate because there is no official translation. Yeah, we discussed that a little bit yesterday. I understood what you were saying. Horrible, way worse than my English or German. Sorry, dude, Google can't translate that. No, the only thing I can pull up was swamp, warmer, echo, and bring. Because I think bring is bring. But I know swamp because I looked up what my channel would, the swamp rocket, and I was like, oh, okay. I will learn this. My puns will become multilingual. Also, y'all's words translate very differently than I would expect them to, and English puns do not work in German. I learned that one earlier today because I was trying, and it was not working for me. My curtain's on the wrong side. No, I don't want you to open that curtain. It says you don't want to confuse the swamp farmer a little bit. Do you...
Back to the farm.
I know Google can't do it, but I I don't really have a much other. Hold on one second, hon. I'm trying to curtain front left. There we go. I got the correct side open. It. Yeah. I imagine like there are terms in English as well you wouldn't learn too well from a class. So you would have to actually conversate with someone. Do you want to confuse the swamp farmer a little bit? Let's see. Hold on. I was practicing a sentence earlier and I saved it. Hold on. I can't. I know I'm gonna butcher this. Mein Deutsch ist schwach, aber ich water üben? No, I've messed that all up. Hold on.
You can stop right there, and bun. Okay, and bun. Your mic's not on.
Oh, I was sitting there talking the whole time. Yes. So, now that I can be heard now, I enjoy the English to German struggle. He is persistent. Anyway, yeah, no, we were talking about, Farm Sim being out of Switzerland, and it's because it is. And I knew that because I got to watch the 2019 tournament. Yeah, we did a couple of sentences yesterday. Absolutely non-German. It was okay. We can be honest, Preem. It was bad, yo. It was really bad.
Hello.
Like, I would be passable as an annoying tourist. I did get the sentence about Odin down pretty well. Mostly because Hound and Hound are pretty similar. Very similar, not pretty similar. They are very similar. Yeah, I woke up with that same habit, though. I was trying out a couple of things, and I still keep rolling my tongue. Like every U.S. American.
Hello to my viewers. Because anybody wanted to chat with me, you could chat with me online.
Let's see, where am I at right here? Let's see, yeah, pretty much. I was, at giving it an honest try, though. Like I said, I could be understood, but barely. Like, I feel like I'd barely be understood. Like, I'd be asked to repeat myself a lot. Which, I mean, for only trying for a day and a half, I don't think I did that bad, but it was bad. Speaking of which, I have a question and context for German. Do y'all not have a word for flounder? Or is it literally just flatfish? Like Platzfisken, I think it was. Ow! I just ripped out the strawberries.
You're messing up the vibe, Steven.
I'm messing up the what?
Vibe.
I'm messing up the vibe?
Yep.
What vibe am I messing up?
I don't know.
Am I messing? Okay. I'm sorry.
You're not.
I am. What vibe are you talking about?
I was messing around.
Oh. I got that. Hold on. I actually practiced that word because I was trying to make a pun, but it doesn't sound right. Let's see if I remember right.
Flunder.
I don't know if it's supposed to be flounder or flidefisk. Oh, wait, you spelled it that way. Yeah, flounder, yeah. Never mind. I'm dumb. I figured, okay. I didn't know if it was like, do y'all actually call it flounder or is it flatfish? Which I think would be flidefisk. I think. I just realized. Flounder, you're mean the fish because you... Flounder, you mean the fish... Yes! That is correct. Yep. Yep, flatfish, yep. Like flounder and halibut, the flatfish. Eyes migrate to the side.
Strawberries sound good.
Strawberries do sound good, Bun Buns.
Strawberries and chocolate for some
Okay, so it is flounder. Because I got two different answers when I was trying to figure that out. I was not trying to figure out what kind of fish are catchable in Switzerland. Not at all.
Lies.
I was. I totally
All
was. Disgusting fish? Ah. Do y'all do lemon pepper up there? It's a seasoning? I don't know how... Yeah, I don't know why I said it that way. I'm sorry. My bad. Now, that being said, I'm from the South. We typically fry everything, and you can pretty much make anything taste good fried. In my defense. We also stuff flounder a lot for some reason. Especially, I keep saying flounder. Like, we stuff halibut and stuff. Halibut? Yeah. that one seems to be a merger of words. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still learning random things. Sorry. I don't know if flounders even exist in Swiss lakes. I'm not sure either. It didn't say y'all had them. Y'all have apparently a couple of species of catfish, but it didn't say anything about flounder existing, because the lakes would need, for y'all to have flounder in there in your lakes would need to be saltwater. That's why I don't think y'all have flounder. Because, like, flounder, or, I'm sorry, flounder, flounder, and halibut and stuff like that, those are all saltwater fish. You know, they don't do freshwater. At least I've never heard of a freshwater flounder. I could be very wrong. Although I know we wouldn't have them down here where I'm at, because, I mean, they just wouldn't make it. Just be snacks. They'd be snack fish.
The seeds are done, honey bun.
The seeder's done?
Yeah.
As in, it's done planting, or it ran out of seeds?
It says complete.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go check it out in a moment. There we go. There we go. Did that work? Okay, that shouldn't work, but game mechanics says it will. My Bun's finally got her little flowers to grow.
We need to get some stuff for it, but I'll be fine for now.
Yeah, it's a coastal fish. Only lake that might have it. The Aral Lake Sea lives in salt water. We have no ocean, just plain clean alpine water. Yeah, you know, most of us exist on the coast here, so we can catch most freshwater species, saltwater. If me and Buns take a 10-minute drive, literally a 10-minute drive, we can go from freshwater to saltwater like that. Like, and I do mean from catching like bass and perch to red drum, snapper, and flounder in like a 10-minute drive. Okay, if we're being realistic, it's more like a 20-minute drive. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit jealous about how clear y'all's waters are too, because I'm down here in the swamp and ain't no clear water down here. I'm just saying, this would be a terrible idea to load this in an 18-wheeler like this. Just saying, this would be bad. This would be really bad. So because I haven't asked, wie geht es euch?
Wie geht es euch?
We're landlocked, no oceans here, but we're all, but we're the watershed for. Oh, okay, I got you now. Okay. Let's see, what's Bun's got here? Okay, it's not a full pallet yet. You want me to get that, Buns? Here, let me move this guy back a little bit more, maybe. There we go.
I'm doing that. That's it.
Yay, I got one understandable. Yay.
What?
Oh, I tried a sentence. I asked how was their day, or how was y'all's day, and it was understandable. I got her. Yes. Victory for the Ginger. I got one. It's a sad victory, but we're gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna keep practicing. All right. What's next, Buns?
That's it.
Okay, so to the coffee roaster. To the coffee roaster. Do I want to check on the what?
Seeds.
Oh, I gotta do that, don't I? I shall return. Yeah, I got one. I'm happy.
So we're gonna stop at the ice cream shop first.
Oh, you want to drop off your strawberries first?
Yeah.
Personal question asked or asked why? Okay. So my accent makes it sound like I'm saying that somebody is being axed, like with a tool. But it is S-K-E-D or A-S-K-E-D. But my accent, I have problems with S's and K's. What? Are you laughing at me?
No.
All right. What do we plant here? Soybean? Yep, time for the corn. Personal question. Asked or axed? Yeah, I don't know why, but that's how it comes out. There we go.
I got the pugs dancing back over here.
Oh, you got the pugs going?
Yeah.
Chit, yeah. Oh, don't run into it. She laughed. That was on point. All right. We need to... Oh, no. Stop. I don't know what you were about to do. All right. Let's see. Fold, stop. There we go. Left trigger 4. Corn.
No. You already done corn.
No, I didn't.
So what did you use the big one?
Soybean.
I said corn on that.
I want you to know that I love you.
It's okay.
I mean, if it bothers you, we can make the field bigger. All right, what am I doing?
Really
And boom. Not really, no. I mean, we can, but not today. Okay, so the planter's rolling with the corn now. Oof, ow. Got the dancing pugs. Oh, I know what I should do, Kareem. I know what I should do. Hold on. We're going to do a thing. We're going to do a thing. Is my microphone better? It is. Good. Okay.
It is.
All right. We're going to do a thing. Let's see. She's doing something under her other account this time, apparently. Is your stream hidden, honey?
No.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Badoom. I think that was yesterday's. Why can't I find your live stream? Huh. Okay, Rumble. Live. Bet you she's in here somewhere. Do. Come on, where's it at? We're gonna find it. There's me. There it is. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Okay, I got it now. I'm in on it now too. Okay, I gotta get back to the game. My dude's just sitting there, and I was not also chat bombing my buns. Ready for a challenge? Bring it. What we got? You know where we gotta go as well, right, Honey Bun? To the coffee roaster. Yeah, we ready for that challenge? It's a poem. I like it to practice English. Okay. The chaos. Alright. General. General Nost. Tree. I will teach you in my verse. This sounds like whore, horse, and worse. I will. Oh. Oh, it's a rhyming challenge. Okay. Dearest creature, creation, studying English pronunciation. I will teach you. My verse sounds like corpse, chorus, horse, and worse. It will keep you sussy, busy, make your head grow dizzy.
Honey Bun, what are you doing?
Going to the coffee roaster.
You want to drop stuff off first?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get more coffee out of it.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. Let's see. I will keep. Let me pull up to the sell point real quick. Let's see. I will keep your. Yep. Make your head heat dizzy. Tear and eye. Your dress will tear. Queen, fair seer, hear my prayer.
Do you want me to drive?
Yeah, please. Fun Months is driving. Haha. Pray console your loving poet. Make my coat look new, dear, sew it. Just compare heart, here and heard, dies and diets, Lord and word. Sword and sword, retain in Britain, mind the later how it's written. May it has not sound of blade. Say, pay, paid, laid, but played. Now surely I will not plague you, but with such words as vague as a gay. But be careful how you speak. Say grush, brush, stake, streak, break, and bleak. Here's one for you right now. Reverse. Wife or lady. I thought you bugged out. Let's see. Sturver. He. Hero? tremendous. I think I have a miss in the translation, because at first it said woman at the wheel tremendous, and then I flipped it back over and it shows Frau M. Stauer and Norm, but it stops. So tremendously? I'm not sure. From the YT version of Brumplum, the chaos is hard not to crack. I get about 80%, you got about 90. Yeah. Yeah, no. It'll definitely trip you, definitely. If it's tripped me, shit. Oh, I gotta help my buns offload. Apparently I was on top of the truck for a second. Try the YT version from Brumplum. Oh, try a different version. Okay, I got you, my bad. See, YT from Brumplum. Okay. Let me help my buns offload real quick. Eh. Translate. Oh. U-N-G-E. H-E-U-E-R. Translate. Oh, I need to flip that. Enormous. Yes, I'm coming, Buns. I am sorry. Oh. Does this mean I get to have my revenge now?
A little bit.
Enormous. Yeah, I think my translator might be messed up because it's just saying tremendous, monstrous, prodigious, or colossal, immense.
Enormous.
I know what Alright, don't do that. I must have misspelled something. I think I misspelled it. Reverse translate. Why is it saying enormous? That can't be right. Flip that back over. Oh, context lost. Ah. U-N-G-E-8. No. And we'll learn this. Let's see. Adjective. Okay, I'm showing an adjective means monster. Yeah, I was about to say I found an adjective in a sentence context meaning monstrous. Apparently, yeah. Monsters dead? Hold on. Lick. Oh, it's outrageous. Yeah, it shows adjective, monstrous, outrageous. Yeah, it shows monsters. Yeah, there it goes. Bun Buns is waiting on me. For the record, I would fear for other people's safety if my wife was in an 18-wheeler in real life. I love you, honey. Hon. Bun Buns.
What?
I love you.
Love you too.
Did you hear what I said about the 18-wheeler?
Yes, and I shrugged my shoulder.
You think you can drive an 18-wheeler?
Oh, not really.
I have a CDL. Lesson, don't let one. Oh, we're gonna. Yep. I'm just gonna say yep.
We know coffee.
What? Coffee? Huh?
That says if we know the coffee.
Lesson, don't live with him. Okay, my turn. Reverse.
I'll be back.
Clear sight. Haben Sie Haustiere? Yo, what's up? Let's see what we got on Uncle Pudge. Did I say Uncle Pudge? Yo, what's up? I gotta blow up your name real quick to make sure I'm saying that right. Uncle Pudge. Yeah, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hope you're having a good time. I apparently am. Oh, that's my Bun Buns screen. Never mind. How you doing? I was looking something up. I am practicing a. I am trying to not badly destroy other people's. Why? I gotta know. Lay it on me, Preem. No, you don't? Aw. I did say that right, because I was intending to ask if you had any pets, Clearsight. I'm pretty sure I got that one pretty understandable. I'm not going to say good. I'm just going to say understandable. There's no sideways. It's okay if it makes anybody feel any better. My Bun Buns isn't allowed to drive anyway. I got this game last year. It's very complex. Okay, what game did you get last year, Uncle Pudge? Oh, you're talking about the game I'm playing. I'm sorry. I missed the context because I was thinking about dogs. Sorry. Yeah, it can be. Especially once you start plugging mods into it. It lives up to its translated name of what did we say it was? Land economics. It's very relaxing. We just like to chill, hang out. Preem will set me up with word challenges in German, and I will utterly destroy them in the worst way possible. And we just sit around, you know, talk about nonsense, and have a nice, relaxing time. I don't know what you do for a living, but I'm praying that you are staying out of the heat because it is hot out. Yeah, stuff like that. Let's see. I'm going to think up another one for clear sight. Hold on. I got this. I know what I want to ask. I don't know two of the words, though. Wait, you said you know... You said you know Nilsson? Okay, I'm probably going to mess up that. Luckily, I get to work inside most of the time. Oh,
I mean, one more time.
oh, good, man. I am really glad to hear that, Uncle Pudge. But, clear sight. Guess du Anglais? So, do you speak 3 languages then, or do... Because I'm pretty sure that would put you in... Man, you got to be multilingual then, if I remember. Oh, no, it did say 16%. That is awesome. But, no, if you are interested, though, because I know Nilsson was talking about the fishing thing, we will be on, oh, you do go fishing. Awesome. Wait, hold on. Wait, no, yes, no, with Nilsson I speak. Oh. Okay, I was curious about that. I wasn't sure. Okay. Well, hey, if you are, you know, more interested in hanging out talking about fishing stuff, we will be playing that fishing game where me and Nilsson, well, Nilsson first started hanging out with us and stuff like that. We'll be on that tomorrow because the farm's going to need a couple of days to build up, otherwise there won't be anything to do at all. But I am glad to hear from you, Pudge, that you get to work inside. Yeah, the yes was about, yeah, I realized that after I said it. I was like, oh man, now I get to sound like a dummy again. Wait, yes, Sergeant at Arms. Yep. Not about fishing. Fishing sucks. Aww. Be honest, is it lack of patience, or do you have terminal bad luck? I know for a lot of people it's a lack of patience, and I am just genuinely curious. No judgment here. Oh, you know what? You could just be like my middle sister, and you just don't like fish in general. Like, my middle sister won't go fishing because she won't eat them. She didn't say that when she was little about the rabbits, though. Them guys were good. Swamp puppies and danger noodles. Oh yeah, Bun, we're gonna have to not this weekend but next weekend, you know, we're gonna have to change out my repair up my trolling motor in case we do have to outrun any swamp puppies. Okay. Lack of opportunity over regular. Yeah, you told me that before. No, I don't like fish. I will not catch them just for fun, you heartless. Hey, I eat most of what I catch. Unless it's too small, then I'm putting them back. But I eat most of what I catch. Well, I think we got 2 bags of catfish in the freezer right now. How long have I been on Rumble, and do I like it so far? About a month and a half, 2 months, give or take. And I'm enjoying it. I haven't really done too much really anywhere else. I get to hang out, chill, and relax with just hang out and relax with people. That's basically all I really do. But I do enjoy it. Big learning curve for me. I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I just know how to reach for a whetstone. And I get to talk about danger noodles. Do I go wrangling? In what context? As I do not wrestle gators, if that's what you're asking me. And I do not rodeo. Alright, come on, boxes. Behave. I don't know what's going on here. Please stop. There we go. Yeah.
That's all the coffee, honey bun.
Oh, that's all of it? Good, because I am messing up this stack. I go wrangling. No! Oh. I'm like, why am I flying everywhere? Oh, my foot's on the pedal. Wait. Oh, I just asked me. Did you ask if I go hunting? Because that answer is not so much since I work now. But when I was a little kid, I used to hunt and trap, if that's what you're asking me. What made me start streaming? A combination of my friend Grizzly and the eldest of my sisters threatening me. How about, I think I saw you had some videos. What made you start streaming? Come here. Come here, you. There you go. Drop the box. There we go. Where I came from. Is that the last box, Bonnie Buns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we're gonna put that box right there. Bink, bink, bink. All right, off the town we go. You can rest easy. I am driving the truck. Or I thought I was driving the truck. Bun, are you in the driver's seat? Bun's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So I'm showing him Rumble is the next YouTube. Okay. Well, I have learned a couple of things, that being the situation. I
Coffee
find
now.
a little bit. I will say that personally, I find that Rumble has a calmer audience. And just in general, I like to think that, I like to say it as like, I think Rumble has a better audience. Not every, a couple of streams I was really tired and, oh wait, hillbilly hand fishing. Oh yeah, noodling. Okay, that's what you were asking me, Preem. Okay, I gotcha. I don't go noodling. I did when I was a kid. I don't do that anymore. I have a injury in my left hand regarding one of my nerves from the steel mill I used to work at, and I can't grip them like I used to. To answer your question about the noodling, wrangling, as you said. Sorry, we called it noodling down here. But no, Uncle Pudge. I find the community's calmer in the sense that even if I'm I'm not gonna say have a bad day. Like I'm having a tired day where I'm having a hard time focusing. You know, if you do have an audience, even a small one, you know, it's usually calm and understanding. Now you can have those chaotic games. What you borfing for, boy? Hey, your boy's borfing at you, hun buns.
Yeah, I don't know what kind he wants, so.
Oh, you know he wants to be in your chair.
I know he does, but every time I try to get him up here, he doesn't want to.
You do have your streamers that do go over the top, and they do attract those, you know. But like, for instance, my channel is advertised as chill, except for Monday nights.
Yeah, but we can pay for it now.
Yes, we can. So that's what I like about Rumble. I will tell you, given that he's a kid, Rumble's player can support lower quality. From a technical standpoint, YouTube wants you to be able to transmit at like 4K bits. Rumble is in its infant shoes, but the time to start here is now. Yeah. Over the top? How, with what? Huh? Oh, you know how, like, what I meant by that was, wait, hold on, over the top. I'm pretty sure to, okay, yeah. like, you'll have to go watch us fight Bone Mass on on one of my videos. Loud yelling. Uh, Everyone's talking over each other. An absurd number of puns because somebody challenged me. But I would say from a technical standpoint, Rumble plugs into OBS really well. And I think it would be definitely a better place for a younger person maybe getting into it. I myself, I'm about middle aged, and it was pretty easy for me to figure out. So I mean, if he's, let's see, my son, yeah. So assuming your son would be younger than myself, he should be able to hook up to it right away. And Rumble even has support videos. Don't be fooled. YouTube rules will apply to Rumble soon. No adverts, no money, no streams. Streams will end. Yeah. I would recommend to anybody who wants to stream. If you're gonna stream, do it because you want to hang out with people. I have watched people try to do it for money. Me and my wife just wanted people to hang out with us on the farm. That's how, after my sister threatened me. And my buddy talked me into it. That's really what me and my wife wanted in the end. We just wanted to be able to hang out and chat with people. But YouTube rules will most likely start filtering down to Rumble. I will give it about 6 or 7 years before that happens, though, Pudge. Keep saying Pudge. I hope I'm saying your screen name right, because I don't have my glasses on, as usual. My glasses are actually broken. I'm hoping to fix that next month. Big butt. Rumble lets you grow right now. YouTube does not. This is true. Preambulus is right about that. Rumble definitely gives you the room to grow. I find that their licensing is a lot more balanced than I would say YouTube is, just by reading YouTube's informations of service. I don't know personally. But like, for instance, the background music we're listening to is from Epidemic Sound. And so is my soundboard, which I don't have hooked up at the moment. But, as you can see, it's just a keystroke. And let's see, that was pre-2014 on YouTube. Yeah. That's why I was saying give it about 6-7 years. They're gonna be almost indistinguishable. But on the upside, you can grow with it at that point, like Pream said, I'm sorry, that's what like Preem was saying. You can grow into it, basically. And like, for instance, I was able to go on my account, not my channel, go on my account and be like, hey, I have license through Epidemic to use this on this channel. And I've never been hit with any kind of notice, as long as it's whoever moderates that looks at it and says, oh, it's from there. Boom, done, problem solved. I do notice from some Rumble streamers, because you're going to have these people in every community, it's unavoidable, and I am sorry. Rumble lets you say a lot. A lot. I'm all for freedom of speech, but they let you say a lot. It will not take 6 or 7. If it comes that way, everything started with copyright issues by music copyright holders, but Rumble gamer streams are not above 1K views. Only select. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. You're asking a question. But Rumble gamer streams are not above 1K views. Only celebrity hits plus 1K streams on Rumble. Why? Sony will not let that go off that easy. They will sue Rumble into doing something about that, and they will obey. Yeah, no, definitely. I understand that point. As far as Preem goes, a lot of people on Rumble are a little bit older than, let's say, your YouTube selection, your most common YouTube users. so a lot of them aren't really gaming, quote. But Clearsight is also right. Sony probably won't let it go that easily. As far as I can tell, DCMA does apply read Rumble TSO. Yep, it does. It absolutely applies. I have permitted license to use the background tracks that I have. And that's what I would recommend. Like, get a permitted license to use background music if you want background music. And they do have DMCA laws in Rumble already. Now, what I have seen Rumble do to a friend of mine is he did not disclose his copyright license because he has copyright permission through a Spotify artist, and he didn't disclose it on one of his videos, so they immediately took off the monetization for that video and relabeled it as personal video, which still left it up, and they sent him a notice saying, hey, you have a DMCA on this video, either correct or remove. And he just changed his description on it to be like, oh, hey, I forgot to put my thing on there. So he just updated his description and resubmitted it, and they put it right back up. Yep. In the US, it's a 4-second minimum. If you have something playing over 4 seconds or an iconic section of recognizable art copyrighted material, that is an immediate DMCA hit. Yep. Clearsight's right. Clearsight is absolutely correct. The thing on the fair rights use, it usually still follows under Creative Commons law. I think it's 303, where you have to disclose the original artists and stuff like that too. And I know a lot of them don't do that either. I know it doesn't really count for a lot of these big people like Sony, but I'm just throwing that out there, you know, as backup info. You know what? I know what we're missing, guys. Hold on. I know exactly what we're missing. I'm going to help. I know what we're missing. Dancing Poggos. We got the Dancing Poggos. Dancing Poggos are back. Odin, are you ready to be turned into a GIF later tomorrow? Oh, he's looking at me like he's confused.
No, you can do that Sunday.
I can do it Sunday.
So you're going fishing tomorrow.
I gotta bring those totes to your,
I thought you were doing on Sunday.
Oh, you know, we do have an extra load on Sunday, so I could do that all on Sunday, yeah. Practical example, Sargon. And streaming on Rumble now. 7 views, no money to be made. Well, yeah, like YouTube, though, they pay per 1,000 and video interaction. So, like, if no one's interacting... I knew you meant made, sorry. I read off literally, sorry. But yeah, no, if they only have 7 views, they're not going to make anything off of it. You know? Like, I'll be honest, my videos average 2 cents. I make 2 cents. But keep in mind, you know, when they selected the license for that channel, you know, it depends on what they picked as well. Because you get more if your videos are exclusive for Rumble use only. Like, mine's not that way. I can go upload my stuff to YouTube and immediately get struck down by DMCAs. Alright, Buns, how's everything over here going? This is Bun Buns. Say hi to Bun Buns. Bun Buns. Hi, Buns.
Hi.
Yay. So how's the field coming along here?
Pretty good. I had to weed it in alignment.
Yeah, it's gonna need a second. Might need a second round of fertilizer too. No, it won't need a second round of fertilizer, but it will need. I would spread lime first. Ad revenue isn't worth anything anyway, so I don't even worry about monetization. True, but I'll be honest. The only thing I was hoping to make off of it was my the cost for my server, which I do, so I'm good. It's not better on YouTube, 400 live views, but Rumble does not scale. I'm not complaining, I hate ads, but Rumble needs to make money. Oh yeah, no, you're right, they need to make money, so you got two options. So why don't you subscribe to me, huh? Dude. I had to stop that sentence. Good job there, Clearsight. I had to stop that sentence. Money. Or you could just enjoy hanging out with everybody. I'm just saying, I just enjoy hanging out with all of you. Okay. No more squidding around. We're in... Oh, wait. My tractor's under workload right now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, you're grabbing your sprayer?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go grab the lime truck, but...
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, you're going to go grab the lime truck?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Bonds.
Hi.
Can I get in her tractor?
No.
Yeah.
No, but you can pick it up.
Wait, hold on. I'll just bring you to the lime. Hold on. The wife can never get away. Hi, honey.
Hi.
But, I mean, yeah, in truth, if you're going to, if I think you said your son earlier there, Pudge. If you're gonna be like, hey, you should stream on you, the only real way I could see someone making money, mostly because it's an infant platform, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, would be Rumble Rants, which I think you might know better as a super chat. And people subscribing to you. I mean, he is right. Like, that would be the way to do it. I mean, to be honest, I don't have any. I just enjoy hanging out with people. That's why I try to keep that. I can't remove the button. Rumble won't let me remove that button. You know. He is right, though. Those would be really the only two ways that he would, quote, make any money off of it, would be Rumble Rants and subscriptions. Good news on the rant thing, though. You receive it pre-tax, so it shows up if you make over 600. It does show up as a 1099 pre-tax, so he won't have to sweat that. Okay, so let's check. I need to check my productions. He wants to be a business, so I'm teaching about long-term branding. Oh, well, even better. Yes, sweetheart?
You want to pay for the loan we have?
Oh, yeah, let me take care of that real quick. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The best way to make money on the internet is with low tanks. Give him my chat tutorial. If he understands that, he can start communicating. Long-term branding, yeah, I definitely see the benefits behind that, because it'll teach him the, really the patience and virtue of being able to figure, like, various steps out. I mean, I definitely think it's a good idea. As Clearsight pointed out, it'd be a really good way to teach him about the DMCA as well. You know, I almost forgot to do a thing. I'm gonna do this thing real quick. First of all, I would like to say thank you to ClearSight for hanging out with us in the live chat. You are great. Here you go, kind sir. That is for you. That'll probably show up in your notification box in about 15 minutes. And the same thing to you, Uncle Pudge. Oh, Rocket League. Nice. Studio building and Rocket League, huh? Chit-chat. See what you got in there. I think you have... Oh, what? He's got Witcher. Alright, I'm officially jealous of ClearSight. That man got Witcher going on. Oh, you follow the quartering too? Okay, so we got that going. We have that going. We got 2 of our beehives going. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we'll be able to harvest soon, but not today. Let's see. So we need the weeds and the roller. We don't really need to be rolling in here, though. Oh, you're liming right now, sweetheart?
Mm-hmm.
Tank is empty. I got this. The tank is empty, guys. We must not let the tank stay empty. He's crapping out on the raids. Nah. Probably working on a deal with Rumble, I would. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, hon. The tractor ran out of seed. Let me get it fired back up real quick. Is that AI dude still in there? Oh, what? He left? Weak sauce. Uh-oh, Bun's in my chat. She's got the link thing everywhere. Link. I love those games. Anybody else love the Legend of Zelda games? I love those games. And let's see, hold on, let me pull that down now. Hi, Bunny.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Do I need to start leaving dancing pogos in your... Hun, your live chat doesn't go up on your screen?
Yeah, I'm bored.
Oh, no, it's okay, Buns. Unfortunately, we don't have any real harvest or anything to do yet, unfortunately. I would love us to, but we don't right now, unfortunately. Alright, that's the last row of corn going down. What? Yeah. Alright, let's get this out of my Bun's way. You know, speaking of things that Rumble could be working on, y'all do know the competitive mode for FS22's competition season's coming up. I really think they should get on that. Okay, I do know IRL, there's no way you're picking up a seeder or a planter. In this case, a planter. But I just kind of want it to be organized. Oh, there we go. Oh, hi, bunnies. Let's get out the Bun's way before she run us over. Alright. So are we done with the truck for today, Buns?
Speed. Oh, yeah.
Formula 24, or what do I mean? Oh, so, Farm Simulator has a league. and its competition season just opened up. It's arena season, and pretty sure they're going to be firing up the FS22 league soon.
There.
That's all I meant. Okay. You grabbing the herbicide, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. Whee! The seeds are over my head. Ah! There we go. There we go. And there we go. Yoink. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you knew Farm Simulator. They actually have a league. They had a league game for FS19. I hope they're planning on doing the same with 22. I forgot who won the 19. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I forgot who won though. I know the John Deere team. They did well like for a little bit and then. Not a problem, Preem, man. You sleep well, all right? Like, seriously. Let's see. Oh man, it's a little past midnight for you. Let's see if I can get it right this time. Schlaf gut bleibt stark. Leaf ball. Reverse.
Okay.
Oh, he said likewise. He's telling clear side likewise. I'm still learning. Okay, so Bun Buns took the sprayer. I guess she wanted to be in the tractors for a while today, I guess. Do we have enough to lease the roller? Let's see. We can't buy it. Maybe we can borrow it? Can we borrow it? Alright, I'm going to the store. I'm going to the store for the roller buns.
Okay.
Actually do a field rolling like we're supposed to. You know, I've always wondered about that. We don't do field rolling down here. I wonder what other countries do field rolling, because I know at least where I'm from, Louisiana, we don't field roll. I always wondered about that. Like, we don't run like a full-on plow. We do a cultivator with a 4-year prescription burn cycle. I mean, we mostly grow cane down here, though, so I guess that would be the difference in crop. I know we do spread lime, specifically CaCO3. I think they only do that once every 5 years down here, though, with the exception of our hay fields. I always wondered about that. Ooh, our tractor's dirty. We'll have to break out the pressure washer here soon. So let's see. I know the regulations are tough, y'all. So you already don't fish. I know you don't hunt. Let's see. Let me flip the translator back over into English. Let's see. Oh. No, not you are. Hobbies. Oh. I'm not sure if the thing teaching me is failing. Do y'all not have a word for hobbies or something? Because it's showing me what's seen any hobbies. But first of all, I'm mispronouncing 2 of those words and... Oh, wait, hold on. Hobby? That's not right. That can't be right. What are your... Yeah, it just says hobbies.
Was sind deine Hobbys?
What's the Dinah hobbies? I'm pretty sure y'all would have... Pretty sure there should be a word for hobbies. Maybe I'm putting it out of context. Did you try to activate a field worker, Buns? They don't work on the herbicide.
Aw.
Sorry, sweetie.
Okay. My hands are getting numb.
What's that?
That my hands are getting numb.
Your hands are getting numb.
Yeah.
That's not fun. Oh, man. Alright, so all we got left is we got to get our fields rolled. We got the farm out of debt. Now we just got to try to keep it out of debt. It seems to be a rolling theme around here. Deny hobbies. I'm pretty sure there should... You know, I probably used the wrong context. Maybe it'd be like pastime activity or something like that. We got. I just realized we had the little jazz bubble cat. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'm aware that most likely Uncle Pudge has moved on. We are going to be ending the stream shortly, though, mostly because I'm hungry. Been at work all day, and I haven't eaten yet today. I'm starving. Well, starving is the wrong word. I am very hungry. Alright, let us unfold the roller. Left trigger 2. Oh, yeah. Do 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 do. Okay. Getting them fields rolled, yeah. Getting work done. Alright, let's get out of the tractor's way. Yep, okay, it's reading. Good. Good. Always gotta check when you got mods installed. Always gotta check. For anybody watching, I have a conversation topic. Do you put pineapple on your pizza? Yes or no, and why?
Yes.
I'm concerned about this tractor being able to make it up that hill with that giant roller attached to it. We shall see today. Yeah, I say giant roller. That's actually the small roller. If we're being honest with each other, it's actually just the small roller. You know, which is always weird. Like, this is what's weird. Hear me out real quick. See, if you have a, let's say a backyard garden, right? Or you have potted plants. or any other situation that might be. Yeah, see, I didn't think it was going to make it. Your goal is to keep the soil loose. Wannabe topic?
What?
He said wannabe topic.
What's that mean?
It's an old conversation piece that really isn't relevant.
Oh.
Let's see, why would I do extra work to make little pieces of pineapple?
They have crushed pineapples.
Well, hon, you gotta remember, not everything available in a grocery store is available in everybody else's grocery store. They might not have canned crushed pineapple. I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know what's in their stores. But personally, I could give you a side reason. I did this one time for my middle sister because she's all like vegetarian and whatnot. We made pizza and everything. My bun obviously likes pineapples on her pizza. So I went through that process of cutting and crushing because I hollowed out the shell and I basically made her a fruit salad bowl inside of the pineapple shell. Double the price for pre-cut. Oh gosh, double? Oh yeah, no. Nope. Nah, you had me at double the price. Nah, we good. Oh no. Odin, what are you doing, Big Ham? Odin is doing something, and I don't know what he is doing. Oh. There we go. Let's see. Where is... It's in here somewhere. Where's it at? Let's see. Browse file. I should really label these. Oh, here we go. For record keeping, because I keep mentioning him. This is Odin. Boop. Come on. Make image visible. There we go. That's Odin. He's a big 92-pound giant poodle, and that's me all fat and everything. He's a big old poodle. He's a big old fluffer. And we love our little fluffer. Yeah, double the price for pre-cut though, man. Yeah, I'd be saying no as well, man. But like I said, the one time I did have a whole pineapple and did it, it was because my sister's all vegetarian. Like I said, I hollowed it out. And then I basically made her a fruit salad bowl inside of the crushed pineapple section. Or the shell of the pineapple. So I didn't pay for cut pineapple. Oh no. Oh, is it starting to rain? Get them fields rolled! Go, tractor, go! We gotta get them fields rolled now.
For the horde!
What the? Do I have a video playing somewhere? Apparently I have a video playing somewhere.
Ready to see a man hit with a stick. Even if my Google searches.
Hello.
Oh, that's you. I was like, what is going on here?
For the horde!
Hey, no sir. No. No sir, you will not DMCA me. How you doing, bud? What's that?
I didn't know that would cause trouble.
I'm not sure that it would, but I know Blizzard has very happy lawyers. I don't think it would.
Mention it by name.
Oh, the pineapple pizza thing? Yeah. Hey, look, it's Bun Buns. Hi, Bun Buns.
At least I had chicken.
At least I has chicken. So what you up to there, Wildcat?
Just watching Gutfield. In a little bit, I'll be heading out to go to karaoke and ramen.
Oh, chit
Ramen
chat.
and then karaoke.
That sounds fun.
That does sound fun. Oh, clear sight. This is my brother Wildcat, by the way.
I don't see clear sight, but
Oh, no, he's in my live stream.
oh, okay.
Buns, that's a very dangerous maneuver.
What's a very dangerous maneuver?
Run me over!
Jumping in front of the roller designed to compress the topsoil of my farming fields.
That sounds fun.
I love you, honey bun.
I love you too, sweetie.
So I got a new game yesterday.
Oh, what'd you get? What'd you get?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Nice.
It released yesterday.
I
bought it shortly before it left early access, so I got the digital deluxe for free.
nice. I got enshrouded on my wait list right now. And hopefully, this is just a hope. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be starting Sons of the Forest on Mondays. That's going to be fun. I called that a lie. There is no way anybody got the name Wildcat.
Not going up.
What? Huh?
Oh no, I already rolled that section, sweetie.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wait, what about no one got the name
Oh, I
Wildcat?
Ain't no way anybody got the name Wildcat.
That's me.
Let's see. Hold on. Can I? I can't pull it off of Discord. Hold on. Oh, his real name's. Oh, hold on. I think I got the confusion. His real name's not Wildcat. That's his online ID. I think I just realized where that came. Yeah, no, that's not his real name. His real name is not going to be said on the internet without his permission. So I just refer to him by his screen name of Wildcat.
Although technically I have the legal authority to go to legally change my name to Wildcat.
If you change your name legally to Wildcat, me and you are going to have an issue, sir.
Why?
Because that's why. Just why.
Because this is by his name.
This is America, and I have the freedom to do that.
You knew that was coming.
Well, you know, this is America, and I have the legal right to own a flamethrower. Doesn't mean it's a good idea. That's all I got to say.
Steven, no, I'm sorry. Since when has it not being a good idea stopped either you or me?
Goodness, satire is lost on you. Unfortunately, yes. Yes, I did miss the sarcasm there. I'm sorry. I've been up since 4. I'm so sorry, Clear Sight. You are absolutely right. It just went way over my head.
That's not hard to do. You're kind of short.
I am 5'11". I am not short.
He's taller than me.
Everything is taller than you, hon.
Exactly.
I'm pretty
So
sure if
thereby-
we stood Odin up, he is taller than you.
So then claiming to be taller than the sky is not a brag.
Well, claiming to be shorter than my wife. Oh, Warden! Oh, what? 5'11" is not short, sir. And getting shorter. How you doing,
Hi,
Ward?
Warden. How are you?
We're all hanging out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm missing half the conversation and because I'm not on Rumble.
You want a link?
It's on Discord, honey
I
bun.
have you marked as follow on Rumble, so I don't need a link.
Oh, that's right. You do have. Yeah, you do follow my channel, don't you? Even though you're never in the live chat with us.
You know, you didn't follow me.
What's that?
Because I'm always either working or sleeping.
Hey, I'm always working or sleeping. All right.
Well,
So,
farming sim is work. It's not work.
Go one more time.
are you all right over there, Buns? Hi, doing good. I hope you're doing good. I am doing good. I just got a daily battle with the heat, but that's about it. I'm glad to hear from you though, Warden. I know everyone's been busy, man. I am glad to hear from you. Are you plow seeding or seeding the plow? Hey, hon.
He's rolling
field.
Bring it.
All right, I know what I'm doing after this stream. I'm married.
My condolences.
Oh, I got a notification. I'm sorry. Hold on. Dandrick? Who is Dandrick?
I don't know. Why?
Oh, they gave me a follow. I want to say thank you, but I don't know exactly who they are.
I might have an idea.
Well, Dandrick, if you're hanging out, if you are hanging out somewhere, feel free to hop in that live chat. You can say hello and BS with us. But I appreciate the follow. Thank you there, bud. That is 2 new houses we got to put up in the farm town next episode.
Hey, no. No.
What you fussing for over there, honey?
Just chewing on my puzzle.
Oh, Gillis chewing on the puzzle? Yeah, that's a no-go. We got... You know, we do gotta go to the store tomorrow. I might as well the mystery ghost follow. Well, like, for instance, you know, you have... In Rumble, you have an account, and then you add channels to your account. Okay, I have to go. I need to reinstall my whole system. Alright, Clearsight. Hey, man, thanks for hanging out with us. You know,
Bye.
you're welcome to come hang out with us anytime. We're always talking about nonsense. If you want something... Adios, alligator. Well, in a while, crocodile. See?
I'm gonna burn the whole world.
You're not gonna do anything, Wildcat. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it just floundering around up there? Just for the hell of it. Be safe, Clearsight. Yeah, he is right. Definitely be safe out there, bud.
Don't you trout me.
I don't have to trout you. I can trout you for the haddock. Oh, you done started it now. You back down while you still got a chance, Wildcat.
I'll just go join the alliance then.
You know, I think we have to have a talk about your status as brother to me now.
We can have it over that coffee you still owe me.
I do still owe you a coffee. I absolutely do. What you doing tomorrow?
Probably work.
Sleeping during the day and then going to work tomorrow night. Then we can have morning coffee.
Define morning.
Whenever PJ's opens his door.
7.
7 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
Okay.
7, all right.
We're gonna have to call each other in the morning about that, only because I do have 2 loads, but the driver I got's a really good driver. If I ask him to drop me a second trailer so I can load it, he probably will. So let me talk to the driver, and I'll have to get with you in the morning about it.
If it's easier, we could probably have it in the late evening, so that way I've already slept, and then it'll be me waking up.
Well,
That's
change it to Depot Espresso. Depot Espresso.
By evening, I mean like probably 5 or 6.
Oh no, I won't be able to make that one, my man.
Oh.
But like I said, we can do morning definitely. Worst case scenario, my driver's not going to get back to the yard till 9, and I'll probably just ask Snapbean. I'll just ask Snapbean to hold down the fort for half an hour.
I'd have to get decaf then, because remember, if I'm going to be trying to sleep. Well, actually, no, I could probably sleep with caffeine in me. I've done it before.
Yeah, but but with this heat, you really don't want to do that. You really need your rest. It's just like I told Cream before he logged off. You know, we all need our. Well, I told him we were talking last stream when I found out what his time zone was, and I was like, "Dude, it's midnight. Why are you still here?"
I do have the medical advantage of being ADHD to where I can actually sleep decently.
Heck, I like. Thank you for the like.
Well,
I've done that.
Well, what I'm worried about with you, Wildcat, is being out in that heat with a lack of sleep. The less sleep you get, less restful
saying it
sleep
might
you
be-
get, the less your body functions properly.
Stop it. They're working.
You know.
Saturday night shift.
Oh, you have night shift?
I thought you knew I'm strictly night shift.
Oh yeah, that's
Saturday
right.
night
You don't
shift.
rotate anymore. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm strictly night shift.
Check on the food and here.
Oh, Bun Bun said food.
Although come the upcoming turnaround in September, I got to come into work 2 hours early, and I'll be doing 14s for a whole month.
Espresso with warm milk is perfect for sleeping. Oh, that was Warden, sorry. You know who I'm actually concerned about with this heat, and I ain't seen him in the stream in a while, I hope he's doing okay, is Zardy. Because if I remember right, he's a mechanic, and most of them guys work outside. So I hope he's doing okay. I do genuinely worry about you guys in the heat. I hope y'all know that, because I know most of y'all live further away from the equator than me and Wildcat do. But dude, I was so mad at Boss Man, by the way. I was jealous as shit. You ready for this there, Wildcat?
What?
So Boss Man got summoned off to our plant in Ohio to basically go tell them how to do the job. It was 70 degrees, and I'm like, it's 105. Like 105 down here. And he's like 70 degrees. He came back messing with us too. He's like, man, I almost busted out a jacket. I'm like, I hope you sweat through all your clothes. Oof, okay, yeah, you're closer to the equator than I thought. Oh, man. You are staying hydrated and out there and everything, right, Warden? I hope you are, man. Is it weird I genuinely worry about the health of my followers? What you borfing for? Come here. Here's your Odin. Look at the borfing rotor today. Borfing Chihuahua.
It's an ass hat.
Hi.
Ass hat.
Hey. Cool it down. Cool it. Meow. Oh, Wildcat hopped in the live chat. Staying indoors with lemonade. Good. I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to hear it. Hey, little Wildcat's in the live chat with us. What's up, Wildcat?
Yeah, I'm right here.
I know. But it's fun to see you in the live chat. I like hanging out with everybody. Perfect weather for hot chocolate. Alright, smart. I don't know how many times we can get away with vulgarity on this channel. There we go. Some dancing pugs. There you go. What's your woes about? What you do? You want to see me? Come here. No, we have the Roosevelt. We have the Roosevelt. Hold on, let's see this here. Hold on. Where is my... Oh, my camera's right here. Hold on. There it is. This is Roosevelt. He is a Chihuahua. Okay, that's my mouth. He's a really big Chihuahua, as you can see. He's a big boy. Go get your big boy. Okay, I love you too. Okay, not up my nose. Hey, I gotta move the tractor. Little hands. I gotta move the tractor. Oh, he's all excited now. I done riled him up. You'll see what I gotta deal with here. I don't turn my camera on very often. I should turn my camera on more often. Mama's trying to call, but he's not going. He loves his daddy. Alright, so first things first, we gotta return our rented equipment, aka the roller. Your kid, yeah, basically, he's needy enough. I'm just gonna put it this way. I helped raise 2. I don't need any more kids. Let's see, return.
So right below the live chat and the like button, Rumble has an ad for a portable AC.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Like, it knows the weather.
Well, yeah, it knows where I'm streaming from, and it knows where a lot of my followers are from. So, yeah, portable ACs. All right, so we unfortunately are not. Oh, you have 4. I have 4. He have 4. I have 4. Oh, you're talking about the pets. Okay. Yeah, so we have my bun's got 2 chihuahuas. We have a 92-pound super poodle, and we have a 2.5-pound cat. Everyone on my stream has seen the cat before. She's adorable and a pain in my butt. And
My
never
mom had animals.
Well, your mom does like the foster stuff and everything through Arno. That's
Not counting fosters, 8.
not counting damn. Y'all expanded.
Oh, you haven't met Rowan.
I have not, no.
But other than that, we have Aurora, Angel, Texas, Snowball, Graphite.
Yeah, Snowball and Graphite are still kicking?
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
I'm sorry, Hammy's still kicking.
Ham-
Isn't she the one?
No, that's
it's
Daniel's
like,
kitten.
I know that isn't. Is it kitten?
No.
I thought it was a dog.
No.
That is not a
Henry
dog.
Is an 18-pound lint ball.
Lint ball is very accurate. How is Hemi doing?
What you doing? What you doing? Get in bed.
You get in
Henry
bed.
is spoiled as
Okay.
ever. Yells at me whenever I come home, and follows me 90% of the time.
Why can I open the door? There.
Uh-oh. I don't know what
And
she's
I
planning.
can actually.
I'm in
And I
bed.
And even though most cats don't like being roughhoused with, I said most, not all.
Mhm.
Hemi doesn't mind me roughhousing at all, and he doesn't roughhouse back. He just flops and is like, "This is fine."
Hey, honey bun, I'm in bed.
Is that right, sweetie?
I'll grab him and flip him upside down, and his response is to purr.
Nice. Gilla likes the
That's
rough
why-
house too.
Well, he doesn't
I'm in
bite
bed.
back. He doesn't paw back. He just purrs. I'm like, dude, I like sumo wrestling maneuver you, and you're just like, do it more.
Right. But no, Gilla is a lot like that. First of all, Gilla is way more affectionate than I ever thought a cat should be.
Same as Hemi.
She does like to play, but you know, cats are very strongly nocturnal. So the problem I face with Gilla is that she wants to play at 3 in the morning. Now that's not terrible. I know what that sounded like. I am usually up at 3 in the morning. But oh, speaking of the devil, hi baby. Yeah, I called her enough times and she came. Anyway,
You pooped the devil, so the devil responded.
right. What you doing, girl? Hi, Rosebud. All right. So, literally, it's raining. We can't really do anything else on the farm right now. We got all our equipment put up and organized? No. Hold on, we're about to pull a Superman here. Yoink. Yeah. That's right, Gilla. I can lift tractors.
Would you like to hear the craziness that is the beginning, the opening cinematic of Baldur's Gate 3?
Sure.
Before you even get to character creation, you get a Mind Flayer tadpole shoved in your eye.
Oh, that's not fun. I take it he didn't make the DC Fortitude 50 check.
You didn't even make a character at that point, so you have no stats to roll with.
Nat 20 overcomes everything, no matter the circumstance. Therefore, you have a 5% chance at character creation to just not die.
No, you do not make the check. But now you gotta figure out a way to get it out.
Gold
Anymore,
Dragon.
I'd be spoiling the early game.
Yeah, don't do that. Character
Yeah,
creation is very surprising. Oh, you got the Baldur's Gate 3 as well, Warden?
How do you like that final option on the list, Warden? On the character creation list. Oh, I think that yes was directed at you.
Well, yeah, there's approximately a 9-second delay. Give him a few more seconds, it might pop up. Strange, very strange.
It's surprising that there's more than 2 options.
Now I'm confused. I don't have this game, so I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I'm being vague on purpose.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
It's something that I heard that the early access didn't have. So when the game fully released, everyone was like, "Holy!"
Oh, or did you? I ain't heard you borf in a long time, boy. What are you doing? Are you borfing? Who's borfing? Who's my big borfing boy? That's,
I think he's trying to.
that's the big borfer. That's the big borfer.
I think he's trying to tell you.
But let's see. There are more 2 options to what you want to be. This is why the game. Oh, oh, they pulled a cyberpunk. Got it. That's all you had to say. They pulled a cyberpunk.
As far as I can tell, there is no both option.
Yeah, give the developers long enough. All right, let's see.
Your identity and your body type are independently selectable, so there is that.
Yeah. All right, let's see. All right, so this is we should have enough left in the thing. Let's see if I can't get it up.
Well, you're going to understand why I was upset when I saw what my race options were.
Okay.
There is no Tabaxi selection.
Well, I mean, are there Tabaxi in Baldur's Gate?
It's the D&D universe.
I'm aware. Tabaxi don't exist everywhere, sir. I am aware of that point. You flying, you Superman? Oh, no, I was in the construction menu.
Yeah.
I was not flying, I was just in construction menu.
This is my first Baldur's Gate game, so I'm not familiar with what is and isn't in there.
Oh, I wasn't sure either. I never ran a Baldur's Gate campaign of any kind. And that being said, I don't typically play D&D. I do more Pathfinder and Shadowrun than anything.
Yeah, after what?
Speaking of which, I need to talk to you, sir.
Me?
Yes.
Well,
Bun.
you can talk to me when we have coffee.
Well, I can talk to you now. How about that?
I gotta go get ready for ramen and karaoke, unless you wanna end your stream and come join me and Kenny.
What? No. Nope. I'm looking around the farm, seeing what we need, all that good stuff. No, unfortunately, I'm not doing that because I got to be at work in the morning. So that's a no-go, sir.
What, you trying to start back up a Shadowrun table?
Yeah, so Bun wanted me to run a game. I really don't want to run D&D because I am on a D&D table. And I gotta admit that I was thinking about it, but I'm gonna be honest with you from the get-go. I don't know if I'm gonna have the time. But I was thinking about it, and I wanted to let you know about it.
I would love to play a Shadowrun game, but remember, I just told you, well, I definitely would not have time from the middle of September to the middle of October because I'll be doing 14s.
Oof. Yeah, you ain't gonna. Other than Baldur's Gate or isometric. Oh, okay.
I forgot what isometric means. I know I should know what that means, but I don't remember.
But No, anyway, so like I was saying, straight up, like I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna have the time. And you already know if I do run a Shadowrun game, it's 4th edition. I ain't dealing with that other nonsense.
5th edition is similar enough in the rules.
No, it's not.
The word it, but you can convert 4th to 5th. Like there's a way to where it'll smoothly convert.
Well, yeah, but meh.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Gilla. She eating her food. Hi, Gilla. Dude, she got big. Did I show you a
Yeah,
recent picture of Gilla?
No. I've been wanting to play Shadowrun, but I would want to play a more action shooty and less gritty, like less darky. I don't mind grit. It's I just personally don't like dealing with a-holes in general. Just I think it's because I've done too much work as a
Take your time.
my time in Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. You can just say customers.
Service industry. That's what I was trying to remember. I spent too much time in the service industry to where I'm just tired of dealing with assholes, idiots, and stupid people.
There you go. See? We all understand here. This is basically my channel is basically I just got off of work, time to chill. I gave, I have gaming materials from the 80s and 90s that fills a tote and a half for $500. Careful who you ask there. Oh, thank you, Buns. Well, Buns just brought the plate. I think y'all know what that means. I do want to show Wildcat since I know he's actually on the stream real quick. This is Gilla now. She used to fit in my hand. She's a solid 2.5 pounds now. And she must always be under my beard if I'm laying down. Don't know what that's about, but there you go.
I don't see it yet. Probably because your stream is.
It's
lagging
delayed,
behind.
yeah. No, there's an intentional
I'll talk to
delay so that it
everybody
processes.
later. Bye.
Okay, both of y'all were talking at the same time, and I lost all of that.
No, you're good. There is an intentional delay in my stream to help keep it from getting really out of control. Mostly because I have to stream at lower quality because my computer won't keep up otherwise. Later, Warden, thank you for hanging out with us. For all of you who did, Wildcat, Clear Sight, Uncle Pudge, thank Preem, of course, always Preem. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I love you guys. And I will most certainly try to enjoy my meal and try to keep it away from the kitten. We have methods. Y'all stay safe. Stay safe if you work outside. And everyone enjoy y'all's evening. Thank y'all very much, guys.
I'm getting off Discord.